Hello everyone, today we will learn about chapter Biomolecules, which is chapter number 9 in 11th class biology book. In this video we will learn about biomolecules, different type of biomolecules, amino acids and its types, and different type of proteins and their functions. Let's start it. We all take nutritious diet and the balanced diet, which include carbohydrates, proteins, fats, lipids, minerals, vitamins, and water. These are the components of the balanced diet, and these nutrients are essential for maintaining the body functioning. Proteins are bodybuilding food which help in repair and growth of the body, whereas fats and carbohydrates give energy to our body. Nucleic acids, which are the important component of our cell, help in transfer of characters from parents to offspring. Vitamins and minerals are essential for the various metabolic functions of the body. Now, what are biomolecules? Biomolecules are the molecules which are found in the living organisms. For example, carbohydrates, vitamins, nucleic acids, lipids, and proteins. These are the few examples of biomolecules. And these biomolecules are essential for the growth of the organism. They sustain the life, they help the living organism to reproduce, and we can say they help in sustenance of the living system. No doubt these are composed of non-living atoms or molecules. Here in this diagram, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids are depicted, which are the various kinds of the biomolecules. Next is metabolism. Metabolism is a set of chemical reactions which take place inside the living organism, inside the cell of the living organism. Metabolism is of two types, catabolism and anabolism. Here you can see in this diagram, metabolism is of two types, catabolism and anabolism. Biomolecules are also termed as metabolites, and these are converted into each other in a series of link reactions which are found in the metabolic pathways. Now, what are anabolic pathways? Anabolic pathways are the pathways which are part of metabolism or the metabolic pathways. These pathways are known as biosynthetic pathways because in these pathways there is formation of complex molecules from the simpler ones, and this process consumes energy. Here in this diagram, simple molecules are depicted which with the help of energy form the complex molecules. Next is catabolism or the catabolic pathways. These are the degradative pathways. These pathways release energy, and in these pathways complex molecules break down and form simpler structures. Here in the diagram it is depicted protein, polysaccharides and fats. These are the complex molecules. When they degrade, when they break down, they form simpler ones. Protein will form amino acids, polysaccharides will form monosaccharides, fats will form fatty acids and glycerol, and these all simpler one will convert into acetyl coenzyme A and may enter into the citric acid cycle or result in production of energy by oxidative phosphorylation in the form of ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. Now, types of metabolites. Metabolites are of two types, primary metabolites and secondary metabolites. Primary metabolites have important role in growth, development and reproduction. These are formed during the growth phase as a result of energy metabolism, and an example of primary metabolites are amino acids, nucleotides, acetic acid, lactic acids and vitamins. Whereas secondary metabolites have no role in growth and development or reproduction. These are formed towards the end of the growth phase, and they have ecological importance. In drugs, toxin, pigments, secondary metabolites are found, and rubber, gum, cellulose, carotenoids, morphine and erythromycin. These are few examples of secondary metabolites. Now biomolecules can be divided into macro and micromolecules. We can say biomicromolecules and biomacromolecules. As the name indicates, micro means smaller. These molecules, biomicromolecules, have molecular weight less than 1000 Dalton, and its examples are amino acids, sugar, nucleotides, lipids, and water. Whereas biomacromolecules are the molecules having high molecular weight. It includes proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, as well as nucleic acids. DNA is shown over here, which is a nucleic acid. Now, amino acids, it is a first biomolecule which we are going to do in this chapter. Amino acids. What are amino acids? These are simple organic compounds having both the carboxylic group as well as the amino group. We can say its key components or key elements are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. And how these are found in amino acid, how these groups COOH or NH2 group is arranged in an amino acid. These are linked to the carbon, center carbon. This carbon is linked to the amino group as well as carboxylic group. As carbon has 4 valency, therefore a side chain will be linked to it and a hydrogen will be linked to it. This side chain will give a specific characteristic to the amino acid. The chain will vary and which result in formation of different type of amino acids. This R group result in approx 20 kind of amino acids are formed because of the variation in the R chain. Naturally occurring amino acids are 20. Now, amino acid classification. Amino acids can be acidic, basic or neutral depending on the number of carboxylic and amino group. Neutral amino acids are those amino acids which have equal number of amino and carboxylic group. Basics are those basic amino acids have more number of amino group, whereas acidic have more number of carboxylic groups. We can divide it amino acids into the essential and non-essential amino acids on the basis of their synthesis. Non-essential amino acids are those amino acids which can't be synthesized, which can be synthesized in a body. No need to take them from outside. They are synthesized by our body, and its examples are alanine, cysteine and glutamate. Whereas essential amino acids are those amino acids, here those is not written, make it correct, those amino acids which can't be synthesized in the body. They must be obtained through the diet. They must be taken in the diet, and they are essential for our body functioning. Therefore, they are known as essential amino acids. But our body is unable to make them. For example, histidine, valine, lysine. These are the essential amino acids. Now, here few examples of amino acids are given. In nature, 20 amino acids are found, but you have to do only 2 or 3 structures. First over here given is alanine, which is a non-essential amino acid, and for representing alanine we use a 3-letter symbol, that is ALA. It is a non-polar neutral amino acid, and in it R chain is CH3 group. Here you can see CH3 group. This CH3 group is the R chain in case of alanine. Next, arginine. It is a semi-essential amino acid. Infants are unable to synthesize it, therefore it must be externally provided to them through fish or chocolate. And this amino acid is good for heart disease, and it help in speedy recovery of wounds. And this amino acid is a basic amino acid. Next is asparagine. It is also a non-essential amino acid. This was the first amino acid to be isolated, and it was isolated from asparagus, therefore it was named asparagine. 3-letter symbol for it is ASN, and for arginine it is ARG. Asparagine is also polar and neutral. Next amino acid is glycine. This is a non-essential amino acid and the smallest known amino acid. Its 3-letter symbol is GLY. it is non-polar and neutral, and in this case R group is hydrogen H. Now next is properties of amino acids. Amino acids are usually colorless and crystalline solids. They are water soluble, having high melting points, and they behave like salts rather than simple amine or carboxylic acids. This behavior is due to the presence of both acidic as well as basic group in the same molecule. Now next is important term which is related to amino acids, that is zwitterionic form. Amino acid in nature are found in zwitterionic form. What is this zwitterionic form? This is the structure of amino acid shown to you. Here this is carbon, R group, hydrogen, amino group and carboxylic group. In nature, amino group will receive one hydrogen and will become positively charged, whereas COOH group will lose one hydrogen and will receive negative charge. So this means in nature it is found in the electrically neutral form, but having charge on it, equal number of charge, positive and negative charge, which is shown NH2 group नहीं लिखा जाता बेटे. Here we will write NH3 positive and COOH ना लिखकर COO negative. When we put amino acid in aqueous solution, carboxylic group will lose H positive and NH2 group will gain H positive, due to which NH2 will become NH3 positive and COOH will become COO negative. Amino acid, this is the amphoteric behavior of amino acid, that it has both acid as well as base, and this behavior is seen in the aqueous medium only. Now amino acid linkage. How amino acids get linked in our body, how they result in formation of proteins. These are the basic components of structure of protein. They result in amino acid get linked to each other and result in formation of proteins. Now how amino acids get linked? They link to each other by a bond known as peptide bond. Here you can see one amino acid, here the another amino acid. This amino acid is glycine, here CH2, and this amino acid is alanine. Now how these two amino acids get linked? OH group of this amino acid will take hydrogen from NH2 group and it will be removed as water molecule, and this CO will link to the NH group of next amino acid. This bond formed is known as peptide bond. So when amino acid get linked to each other, there is formation of peptide bond, or we can say peptide linkage. Proteins are polymers of alpha amino acids. They are connected to each other by peptide bond, and peptide linkage is an amide linkage which is formed between the COOH group and NH2 group with the loss of water molecule. And this bond is always found in the trans form. Now depending on the number of amino acids, we can classify peptides as dipeptides, tripeptides, tetrapeptides or oligopeptides and then polypeptides. Dipeptides have two amino acids joined by one peptide bond, whereas tripeptides have three amino acids joined by two peptide bonds. Oligopeptides have approx 10 amino acid molecules, and polypeptides have more than 100 amino acids joined to each other by peptide bond. Now, structure of protein. Protein has four types of structure: primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary and quaternary structure. Firstly, primary structure of proteins. In primary structure, the amino acids are linked linearly to each other with the help of peptide bond. तो जहाँ भी आपसे पूछा जाए कि अमीनो एसिड प्रोटीन की प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर में क्या पाया जाता है, तो आप बोलेंगे पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड पाया जाता है. Amino acid get linked to each other by peptide bond and result in formation of linear sequence of amino acid called polypeptide. Now secondary structure. प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर प्रोटीन को फंक्शनल नहीं बनाती हैं. there are few more complexity in the structure of proteins. जब प्रोटीन जो एक प्रॉपर प्रोटीन है उसमें प्राइमरी के साथ साथ सेकेंडरी, टर्शरी एंड क्वाटरनरी स्ट्रक्चर भी हो सकती है. तो प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर इज पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन, एंड देन when the amino acid get linked to each other by peptide bond, जो first amino acid है उसका carboxylic group next fourth amino acid के NH group के साथ interact करेगा, हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड बनाएगा, जिसके कारण से there will be folding of polypeptide into coiled form. It will be folded, and this structure is known as alpha helix structure. Secondary structure is of two types, alpha helix structure and beta plated sheets. Now here you can see alpha helical structure and beta plated sheets. And beta plated sheets are further of two types, parallel and anti-parallel beta plated sheet. Beta plated sheet structure is less stable than the alpha helical structure. In alpha helical structure here you can see the carboxylic group is interacting with the NH group of fourth amino acid next to it, fourth amino acid के साथ ही बेटे लिंक कर रहा है, और ये जो बॉन्ड बन रहा है हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड, दैट इज द इंट्रा चेन हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड. जबकि बीटा प्लेटेड शीट में क्या होगा, देयर विल बी टू पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन्स और उनके बीच में इंट्रैक्शन होगी, उनके बीच में हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड बनेगा, और ये जो बॉन्ड होगा दैट विल बी द इंटर चेन हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड. Now next is tertiary structure. In tertiary structure, there will be peptide bonds, there will be alpha helical sheets, there may be the beta plated sheet, और इसके अलावा there will be the disulfide bonds. Here you can see in the structure SS bond, which is a disulfide bond. This S containing, sulfur containing amino acid is the cysteine, और जहाँ पर भी इस चेन में सिस्टीन आ जाएगा उसके जो सल्फर हैं दे विल गेट लिंक टू ईच अदर एंड विल फॉर्म डाइसल्फाइड बॉन्ड. एक और सल्फर कंटेनिंग अमीनो एसिड है विच इज द मिथ्योनिन. इन टर्शियरी स्ट्रक्चर बॉन्ड बिटवीन द नेबरिंग अमीनो एसिड रिजल्ट फर्दर फोल्डिंग of the protein. Tertiary structure depend on the primary structure and it create active sites of the protein. As the protein have enzymatic activities, तो active sites जो create होती है protein में, that is because of the tertiary structure of the protein. Some of the tertiary structure are spherical and these are found in globular protein, whereas some proteins are in fibrous in nature, और उनमें बेटे active site की structure क्यों होगी, because of the tertiary structure of the proteins. The next is the quaternary structure. Here multiple chains of polypeptide are held to each other by hydrogen bonds. देखिए अमीनो एसिड आपस में लिंक हो गए पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड से, देन उन्होंने अल्फा हेलिकल या बीटा प्लीटेड शीट्स बना ली. अब जहाँ पर भी डाइसल्फाइड बॉन्ड बन सकते थे वो बन गए, मींस प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर भी हो गई, सेकेंडरी भी हो गई, टर्शरी भी. नाउ एक से ज़्यादा पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन जो हैं वो आपस में इंटरैक्ट करेंगी, हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड से एक दूसरे के साथ इंटरैक्ट करेंगी या स्ट्रेंथ देंगी, एक स्ट्रक्चर एक्वायर करेंगी. दैट इज स्ट्रक्चर इज नोन एज क्वाटरनरी स्ट्रक्चर. हियर मल्टीपल चेन्स ऑफ पॉलीपेप्टाइड आर फाउंड. फॉर example hemoglobin has 4 polypeptide chains, 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chain. Hemoglobin is found in the red blood cells. And this hemoglobin has 4 polypeptide chains, as well as heme component is there, which is the iron containing component to which oxygen binds. Now protein classification on the basis of their structure, there may be fibrous proteins or maybe the globular proteins. When the polypeptide chains run parallel, held together by hydrogen bonds or disulfide bonds, and acquire a rod-like or wire-like structure, then that protein is known as fibrous protein. They have the shape of fibers, and these are the water-insoluble proteins. Whereas globular proteins are the structures which result when chains of polypeptide coil around to give a spherical shape. They acquire a shape of globe and hence called globular proteins. An example of globular protein is hemoglobin. Here you can see 2 beta chains are there, 2 alpha chains are there, and heme component having iron in it. and they play important role in metabolic reactions. Now denaturation of proteins. प्रोटीन्स को अगर हम बहुत ज़्यादा गर्म करते हैं या किसी तरह के कुछ ट्रीटमेंट्स देते हैं तो क्या होगा कि प्रोटीन के जो बॉन्ड्स हैं वो धीरे धीरे टूटना शुरू करेंगे. हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स टूट जाएंगे, डाइसल्फाइड बॉन्ड्स टूट जाएंगे, और जो उसने कॉम्प्लेक्स ग्लोबुलर या फाइब्रस स्ट्रक्चर एक्वायर कर रखी थी दैट विल बिकम लीनियर. तो इसे हम डीनेचुरेशन कहते हैं. प्रोटीन्स हैव अ 3D structure and unique functioning because of this 3D structure. Here you can see 3D structure. But when that protein is subjected to temperature, high temperature, pH, their bonds get disturbed, they get broken. As a result, the globules or helix get uncoiled. Proteins loses their biological activity, and this process is known as denaturation. All the secondary, tertiary and quaternary structures are lost during denaturation process. Only the primary structure will remain intact. For example, coagulation of egg white. अगर आप egg को boil करते हैं तो what will happen? There will be denaturation of proteins, protein albumin inside the egg that get denaturated when boiled and form white part of the egg. And here you can see this is the 3D structure of protein which get after denaturation will become a linear chain having only peptide bonds. That's all for today. Let's recapitulate that what we have learned today. We have learned biomolecules, which are the molecules found in the living beings. Then we have studied metabolism, which are the metabolic activity or the pathways which take place inside the cell of living organisms, and these are of two types, catabolic pathways and anabolic pathways. Catabolic pathways are the degradative pathways. For example, glycogen will split glycogen found in our liver and muscles that will degrade to form glucose, and glucose will further degrade to form pyruvate and enters into Krebs cycle to give carbon dioxide, water and energy. Whereas anabolic pathways are the synthetic pathways in which the simple components by consuming energy will join up to form complex ones. Now next we have done amino acids, which are the carbon compounds having both the amino group as well as the carboxylic group. And on the basis of the R chain, there are naturally occurring 20 types of amino acids are there found in the nature. Few of them are basic, few of them are non-polar, polar or basic, acidic, neutral amino acids are there, and we can classify them into essential and non-essential on the basis of their synthesis. If these are not formed inside our body, then they are essential ones. They must be consumed in the diet. But if they formed in our body by themselves, they are the non-essential ones. Then we have done proteins, that how these amino acids get linked to form proteins. These amino acids get linked to each other by peptide bond and result in formation of primary structure of proteins. When this polypeptide chain, which is formed by peptide linkage between the amino acids, इस चेन पे अब सेकेंडरी स्ट्रक्चर कैसे एक्वायर करेंगी? बाय मेकिंग अल्फा हेलिक्स और देयर मे बी बीटा प्लेटेड शीट्स. और टर्शरी स्ट्रक्चर कैसे एक्वायर करेंगे? उसमें कौन से बॉन्ड और आ जाएंगे? दैट इज अ डाइसल्फाइड बॉन्ड्स. इन क्वाटरनरी स्ट्रक्चर दो या दो से ज़्यादा पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन्स जो हैं वो आपस में हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड से इंटरेक्ट कर रही हैं और एक ग्लोबुलर या फाइब्रस स्ट्रक्चर एक्वायर करती हैं. So these are the different type of proteins. Now next we have done denaturation of proteins, that due to high temperature what will happen, the protein 3D structure of protein will get denatured. It will lose its quaternary, tertiary or secondary structure. Only the primary structure will remain intact. हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड टूट जाएंगे, डाइसल्फाइड बॉन्ड्स टूट जाएंगे, अल्फा हेलिक्स में भी हाइड्रोजन इंट्रैक्शंस ही थी वो भी सब डिस्टर्ब हो जाएंगी. Only and only the peptide bond will remain intact. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.